Hey guys, this is Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast. I'm Alex, and I'm here today with my co-host.
Will. Just kidding. I'm Brady. You guys have seen me on this show before. I'm filling in for Will while he's on paternity leave.
We have a little bit of a crossover going on, gentlemen. Whichever one wants to go first.
Who talks first? You talk first, or I talk first, Lance?
I think you're talking first, so you can
Yeah, I
go.
mean, typically that's how it goes. Hey everyone, I'm Kev, and I'm making it. And do I say where we're from, or do I need to say where
Yeah,
Lance first?
go for it.
I feel weird taking ownership. Hi, I'm Kev, one of the co-hosts. Always hold on to Arrow, the podcast that talks about all things that make Arrow, and I'm making it. How you doing?
And I'm
Uh,
Lance. I'm the other host of Always on the Other Era.
yeah, I'm doing good. Definitely. We have the episode we're going to talk about. Not really episode. The movie. Are we going to call it a movie? We're talking about Vixen today.
Yeah, I mean, when you rented you rented a movie, so I guess we can call it a
Yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
even though
Like
it's like technically an
Basically,
animated series.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
basically the only way to watch the damn show.
Yeah.
yeah.
At first, I was like, how do they compress it? And then I watched it. I'm like, oh, they just threw it all together. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. We're going to go ahead and go into my notes I got over here. So, like we kind of said, this is only available as a movie. It was a mini series that, for whatever reason, once again, Lance, I want to quote you for a second.
Oh,
Everything WB does is wrong because, like, this is not on Max. This is wild.
We have to make the shirt, man. I'm telling you.
I think so.
It's like that. Have you noticed this trend too, by the way? So like I go to look for certain movies and like they're not even on there anymore. And I'm like, you guys literally own DC Comics. Like, what are you doing? Like, I
Dude,
don't
I bought
understand.
I bought Justice League Doom on YouTube because I've told you this before, Alex. Like
Hmm.
that's one of my favorite animated DC movies. Went to check for it on Max, wasn't in there. So I bought it on YouTube because I was just like, screw it, I'm not gonna wait for it to come back.
Yeah, I had to I did a podcast crossover recently where we reviewed a Batman Superman, one of the animated movies where it was Supergirl. And I luckily had the Batman 18 movie collection.
I
And
have
that
that too.
it came in clutch and it keeps paying itself off because like I have so many and it's terrible quality because they put like four movies on one disc. That's stupid. But anyway, like it's like really pixelated, but hey, at least I could watch it without having to pay for it again. So I guess like, it is what it is. But so I guess we'll go ahead and go into the summary real quick. This movie starts off with a bang. Vixen, or who we come to know as Vixen, is running away from Arrow and the Flash as they chase her through the city. She uses her powers to break the Arrow, and he's shocked, even though stuff like this has happened before. Like people have caught the Arrow and broke it before, and he just like has this look of
Yeah.
like, what is happening kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's like you
I
guys would know more than anybody to always hold on to Arrow guys if this is like a reoccurring bit, right?
Well, I mean, like, how many people have caught an arrow? Like, Malcolm's caught it, Slade's caught it, some of the League of Assassins have caught it.
Yeah.
I'm
Damien
trying,
Dark
yeah,
did with magic.
trying to figure
Uh,
out what part in the show is like who is he encountered by this point when he's encountered
well, at this point, like, this is so season four.
season
So,
four.
Yeah.
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 So
Oh
honestly, technically, with everything that we know about him, he shouldn't be surprised by anything, considering
no,
he went through magic on in season four,
in
and
those five
apparently
years
he
of
discovered
hell.
that in his 5 years in hell. So yeah, he shouldn't be that surprised.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have a note that just says, well, my first one is I didn't expect them to come out the gate swinging with Flash and Arrow. I thought they were going to save them for later on, but I guess it's a way to get people hooked. Like, hey, the two shows you actually like, the two characters are in this,
Yeah.
so please watch. And
Yeah.
then
Not
my
me.
other my other note just says when Arrow has his wide open mouth, I just said Arrow's wide open mouth is funny AF because that it just made me laugh so hard because he's standing there like,
Yeah. Yeah, they keep repeating that over and over again. It's like, you guys, like there's some definitely, and we'll get into it. There's some reused either animation or like some even character models that we'll definitely get into as we go a little further into this. But yeah, I've noticed some stuff that kind of sticks out. Speaking of like it says here, she's quicker than even the Flash. I like this Young Justice style animation. Like
because
it's
it's drawn by the same guy who did
yeah.
design the characters on the
Yeah,
first couple seasons of Young Justice, Phil Barassa.
Yeah, definitely. And she falls with a terrified scream. We cut to 3 days earlier, to to kind of lean into your guys' thing too, like the whole in media res. Like I remember re-listening to your guys' podcast. They repeat that whole. I know that's Zach's favorite,
Yeah,
guys.
I was
But
gonna say
yeah.
somewhere right now he just had a twitch and doesn't know why.
yeah, basically.
That's like one of the funniest bits you guys do. But she's in a prison cell. We find out her last name is McCabe when an officer tells her she can leave. Someone posted her bail. Um she goes and gets her personal effects sketchbook. This like nosy police officer was bored, I guess, and like just started going through her fashion sketchbook. And he like the other one tries to get the African necklace from her for like $50 for his wife's like anniversary or something like that. Like it's a weird scene, man. I don't
Yeah.
know.
It's a bad move.
Yeah.
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 Dude. I mean, we anniversaries are. I mean, I don't know. I'm about to experience my 17th.
Woo.
Nice.
You can't. You can't.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, thanks. I'll take those flowers there. No, you can't. You can't just walk up the day of the anniversary and be like, oh yeah, by the way, because like they know. Shout out to
Mhm.
Jess. She knows.
Shout
She
out to
would have known. I
Jess.
just grabbed something. If I
They
brought like
always know.
they
Yeah.
always don't do that, man.
You're
Yeah,
right.
$50 too. I mean, I don't
Yeah.
know.
He's a bad husband at that point. Damn.
Yeah.
Like how much what was he doing that he forgot?
That's what I'm saying.
Clearly,
Yeah, I've never, thankfully, I mean, knock on wood. I mean, apparently it happens because we've heard of it, but I have yet to forget a birthday, an anniversary, a holiday. I don't. I mean, I'm busy. Not Lance
yeah.
busy, but like I'm busy,
Yeah.
and I have yet to miss one of those dates. So I don't know. Also, you can just kind of like agree to like, I mean, at this point, me and we're like, hey, man, do we need to get each other something like?
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, like we share like a bank account. It's like, how do you sneak it? How do you
The,
support each other at this point?
the
My
answer is yes, Kev.
my wife uh like doesn't really like surprises, so she kind of likes to know what she's getting. So like it's one of those things where I'm just like, it's like, okay, you kind of already know what you're getting. She does this whole thing with surprises. So like for me, it's like I kind of just step over that part of it. But but yeah, her foster dad is outside. He obviously bailed her out. She's really cold to him. They go to eat, and she's back in Detroit. Said something about her old fashion job. She was propositioned there. Like there's like a lot of like implied like sex stuff in this I've
Yeah.
noticed in the
I
episodes.
had a note about that. I just said a lot of sexual jokes and references in this.
Yeah, definitely.
CW bleeds over even in animation, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Maybe
got
just
you got to hook them.
Yeah, maybe it's just
Pairing.
because like with the art style and stuff, we're not. Well, no, I take that back because later Young Justice definitely does get like
Yeah,
a lot
third
more.
season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. That's like a
Way
Season 3
whole.
much.
where they literally show a dead like the king and queen of Markovia just dead, like
Yeah,
Yeah.
their heads are blown off.
Yeah, it's pretty. It gets like, well, because with Young Justice, by the time we get to that season, like they're grown, for the
hmm
most part,
Yeah.
and
yeah,
it's technically not even just it's not technically not even Young Justice anymore. It's more like a Justice League Secret Ops team.
Yeah, the covert ops Justice League at that point,
Yeah.
because
So,
Superman and Batman start showing up a lot more.
oh yeah,
definitely.
and so do the other leaguers too. So
Oh yeah.
Good stuff. But yeah, so like he mentions Patty, it's her we find out later that's her foster mom and that she basically would have liked that she stood up for herself. She stabbed the guy in the hand with like a pin, which like fair enough, I guess. But he asked her as they walk through the city if she found her real parents outside of Michigan. They're held up by some thugs demanding the necklace. The dad gets knocked out. She's held at gunpoint, touches her necklace, and we see the shadows of animal strengths that she's using. She quickly takes him down. Like I like that, and that would have so like I obviously did re-listen to your guys' episode. That would have been a way to save on budget. I feel like if they did do a Vixen show, just have like the CG like shadow or something in certain scenes, like that would have been a way to kind of maybe save a little bit on budget for the powers and stuff.
well,
Yeah,
I
that
didn't
or
even
just
think that's sorry.
well, no, it's
I
all
didn't
good.
even think that was why they did that.
Yeah, that's part of it. Or like, like if they would have done like more with her like in live action,
Hmm.
uh instead of showing like, like these little shadows of animals and stuff, like you
Hmm.
just hear the sound of the animal that the
Yeah.
animal makes. And that would have been and like they would have saved a whole lot then.
Yeah, because it's been a minute since I've seen the Legends of Tomorrow and how they handled it, but like from my memory, like they didn't seem to have that much trouble with showing them there, but I haven't
Not
seen it
really,
in a minute.
well, because they barely
Yeah, because they
used
didn't. Yeah,
her as
use it
Vixen
very
because
often.
that character became something else a couple of times
Yeah,
before her run ended. So
yeah, I missed
I
the
have it.
original
I still
version.
have yet to watch Legends, so I didn't even know they put her into live action stuff.
oh
Oh,
yeah,
Legends is great.
By the time Legends is over, you'd be surprised at the like roster of heroes that they've had.
uh-huh.
I
Oh wow,
I
that
know because last
yeah.
time I was on this show, Alex and our one of our other friends, Ben, was talking to me about Legends, and they were like, "Oh yeah, Kid Flash is there." I'm like, "Okay, I'm sold. I'm watching
Yeah.
this."
Yeah.
Yeah, he's better in that show than he is in the
Good,
actual CW Flash, to be honest with you.
good.
They
I'm
know
not
what to do
excited.
with them there.
I'm not excited to talk about Wally when we get to
Ah,
later
man.
episodes because I love Wally in comics and bring it up again because my favorite DC show, Young Justice. But like, oh, live action did him dirty.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, it's going to be interesting when we eventually get there. Sometimes talking about something that's bad is like it makes for more conversation, so that'd be better than just like every episode's like, "Oh my God, this is so great. Oh my God, this is so great." So,
Yeah, that because that's basically most of these.
Uh, I was, I was gonna say, uh, thinking about recording Vixen. That was during the season 4 coverage, right, Lance?
Yes, it was.
Oh man, we must have been sour. We must
Yeah,
have not having this is probably a nice break from season 4 for us because
it was.
yeah, because I remember really enjoying this, and I'm sure you did too.
Oh yeah, I listened to it. You guys were just like, "Oh, I needed this break." Like I remember hearing that.
Yeah, yeah, season 4 is hard.
Season 4 was
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. Well, I know we're eventually gonna get to the time where Grant Gustin is carrying the show on his back, so like that will definitely be in some of the later seasons. But yeah, it's just stand around, stick around, guys. This will be a lot of fun. But yeah. Anyway, so we're treated to a flashback as she goes into her childhood room and like has a moment where like apparently some bullies were trying to say like her mom was a junkie and that's why she left and stuff like that. And then the only thing she had was like a necklace. It's an Annecy totem. Uh
Anansi.
Anansi.
Anansi, that's
Anansi.
it. Yeah. Yeah, so she goes to a Dr. McAllister. She wants him to study the necklace, and then she has a crack about normally this is the part where I'd say my eyes are up here. That was kind of a hacky joke to me. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, didn't need to be there. You get one, maybe two, but you get one normally, and that was just kind of like, okay, we got it the first time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just just doubling down on. Hey, by the way, I don't know if you guys have noticed this character's hot,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
And
I
a
want you to know.
woman.
Yeah, we want you to know that this lady,
Hmm.
she's attractive. So you know.
I mean, if you didn't know already, there's a moment later where Cisco literally is just like Vixen. It's like, oh yeah, because she's like foxy and everything. I was like, all
Yeah.
right, Cisco, calm down.
Oh, why did you remind me of that line? Oh, I was happy to forget about that.
Probably not
Yeah,
Cisco's best, but definitely on par for Cisco. Yeah.
Yeah.
definitely.
Yeah, it's in character, but like you said, Cavante, it was not one of his best.
Yeah, definitely. So we find out that this type of stone is native to Machanga province in Zambezi. She rattles off the connection to Anansi and is actually name of a trickster god who gave it to Tantu. Um, okay, she wants to know what happened with it, and the doctor knows it's said to give the user power, whatever she thinks animal-wise, it'll give her that power. Um, he's secretly working with like an unknown person that we later kind of find out is like basically is like wanting the stone. We find out later it's like her sister and
Hey,
everything.
did they ever say, because I was telling you before we started recording this, Alex, before
Hmm.
Cavante and Lance jumped on here, I tuned out about after the 1 year later mark. Did they ever say if that's Queen Bee or not? Because it looked a hell of a lot like her, and the way that guy was talking, who was working with her, kind of made it
Hmm.
seem like he was under the influence of something. maybe it could have just been like, he was smoking too much pot because he does work at a college, but it could have also just been
I was like,
like
Lance,
he was being mind controlled by Queen Bee.
He's being
Here's the
mind controlled
thing.
by some money.
Here's the thing. I think they wanted to use Queen Bee, and I think
Mm.
they probably wanted to have that character in the Arrowverse. But then somebody upstairs probably said no, and so this is what we ended up getting because this would have been a good way to introduce her, I think. But
Yeah.
it seems like all the signs are pointing towards they wanted to use her in this. Yeah, that's a very good point.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um,
And did this come out around the time season three of Young Justice was coming back to DC Universe? Because that could have been the reason they couldn't use her. Let me
I think
look.
it was before, I'm pretty sure. 'Cause
When was season three of
Okay,
Young
apparently
Justice?
not.
it was like 2016, I think, maybe, or 2017. It was whenever
Yeah,
the DC Unlimited app was a thing still. Maybe 2017. I think it was 2017.
Okay, well
I
then that
think it
means it was way
was.
after Arrow season four. So
Yeah, maybe
Hold
maybe
on,
Phil.
I'm checking.
Okay. Maybe just draw similar characters though, as we kind of
Yeah, it was way after. It was way after. It came out January 4th of 2019.
gotcha.
okay.
Um,
I was just
so
wondering if that could have been a factor, but I guess not.
yeah.
it's so like we cut this Central City, like Star Labs, and like apparently because she goes out and tests her powers, Cisco has the whole crack I made earlier about like her being Foxy and everything. And she's like special and like different because it's their first like outside of Central City like meta case or what they think is a meta
Hmm.
at the time, which was kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Go
Also,
ahead.
my note that I took for this scene, it just says, wait, what? Cisco, yeah, Cisco and no Caitlin Snow. Star Labs doesn't look the same. WTF is going on? Is this canon? Because Star Labs does not look a thing like it does in the show. There's no like cortex. You can't go down the hall, go to the reverse flash area. It does not look the same. So it's just like, is this canon?
Huh.
I
Yeah,
didn't notice that.
me either, actually. I guess I gotta go back and watch it. I mean, I still have it
I'm a
rented
detail
further.
freak. I'm a detail freak with that kind of stuff. So I was just like, this does not look like Star Labs. Something is wrong.
Yeah.
I think they just ended up making generic Science Lab,
Yeah,
the animators, because they had other things to do.
Yeah,
clearly.
probably.
But yeah, Barry mentions needing backup. Cisco thinks he means him, but obviously he means Arrow. I like that whole thing, him being disappointed and everything. Uh, we cut back to Chuck's apartment, who's the dad earlier, if I didn't say that. She mentions this being a way to finally find herself. The doorbell rings and Chuck's surprised it's Arrow and the Flash. She sees him and runs Arrow. She moves fast, and I like this crack from Flash, according to who, and like runs after her. Like I like that whole like their banter in this.
Yeah,
Sometimes it could be a little bit much, like where I was just like, all right, guys, like, come on, take some stuff seriously here. But like some of the quips here work.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
what I think I remember remarking about it was that it was good to have the actual voice actors doing it.
Hmm.
Grant was probably the stronger voice actor out of everyone in this.
Yeah.
hmm
Definitely.
But yeah, no, the quips only work when they're together because like
Hmm.
separately they don't really do that. But during the crossovers, this is very much
this is
like
what they do.
this is all they like every
Yeah.
crossover we've watched. One of the complaints Lance and I have about the show is every time they cross over, they just reset the characters. They never let
Hmm
that progression happen throughout the seasons. So
Hmm.
every time Oliver and Barry get together, it's just like grumpy and
Yeah.
light-hearted, and that's just their like thing. But yeah, no, what's funny, Vixen speeding off and him trying to catch it, but
Yeah.
I was still surprised that Vixen was able to get away.
Yeah, because she's just the speed of a
A
cheetah, and
cheetah,
Yeah.
yeah.
he
The
has
Flash is
this
way faster than a cheetah.
he has this
Yeah.
speed
They
force.
Speed Force outweighs Cheetah. Like he should have been able to catch up to her.
It's like anime. They got to kind of make sure, the new challenger is like stronger, but like once they join the team, all of a sudden they're gonna have like a bunch of flaws and stuff. So,
Yeah. Did
how
you
that
guys
goes.
also notice that the art style, I don't know if this was just a me thing that I saw this, but the art style kind of looks different about halfway through. Like Mari looks a bit more anime halfway through.
Hmm.
Well, they probably had to hire some other animators, and this is the
Well,
result.
yeah, I was gonna say the first episode, like, because this is just all the episodes smashed up. The first episode is like 5 minutes or something. Like it's
Hmm.
pretty like quick, and I would assume they probably have different art because you one I have Dragon Ball Z on the mind right now because you were talking about heroes, having villains
Nice.
join their team and suddenly they're not nearly as strong as they were.
Yes.
I'm looking at you, Beers. Anyway,
Yep.
but yeah, no, I just assumed that anytime I see an animation show, when I animate, because that's the Dragon Ball Z is notorious for the
Hmm.
art style and animation style changing every what 20 episodes maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you have teams of artists. I don't know if this is a big enough project to warrant that, but that was always my thought. Like, oh, it must
Well,
just be like the other team.
Yeah,
yeah,
like
well,
the
because
A
remember
squad, B squad.
this was originally a web series, right? And
True.
No,
so these little short little mini episodes that they would put online, and then they put it
man.
as a season of television, sort of, and then they
Hmm.
just put it all together as a movie. So
Yeah.
it's very it could be very well that each little different thing had different set of animators.
It's
Yeah,
kind of like
this
if you
web
tried to,
series just makes me feel old.
I know,
yeah.
right?
Oh, well, I was like, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like when like you like basically it'd be like if someone edited together like Batman the Animated Series episodes and like
Yeah.
there's the ones like there's a Heart of Ice and then you have another one where it's like part two of the Two-Face like two-parter where like it's not bad but you can definitely tell a distinct difference between the two.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that kind of thing. But one of the things I know you guys will probably appreciate, speaking of the banner from earlier, Arrow tells her Mari to stop as he draws his bow, and then she's like, I know, I failed my city." Like, I liked that. I thought that was like one of the clever writing moments in this episode.
Nice to know that Oliver's catchphrase that he says exclusively to criminals has escaped Star City.
Well,
Run
look,
throughout the lexicon of like society.
look, man. By this point, remember, if you are living someplace else, you probably get news reports daily about the fact that there's a vigilante superhero running around doing stuff, and when people ask about what they do, what they say, what they sound like, they'll say stuff like that.
Yeah,
So these things get around. Again, if these
definitely.
people were like alive and around today, we would know or try to know as much about them as possible. And if we found out they had a catchphrase or something they said, we'd like that would be all over the internet all of the time.
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's what I was gonna say. Somebody probably turned it into like a meme.
Yeah.
It's a t-shirt. You can go to Redbubble and find that t-shirt definitely.
I could see some
Hmm.
vendors on the street like selling some like bootleg like stuff or something like
Yeah.
maybe with even some of the police drawing maybe on one of them or something from the first season. I could
Yeah.
definitely see something
There's like
like
a
that.
poster like you
Yeah.
could get.
They should make that for real. I want that now.
They're probably somewhere, I guarantee you.
It's
There's
on
probably at
Etsy
least a
somewhere.
"You have failed this city" shirt.
Oh,
Oh, there
definitely.
definitely is. There
You,
definitely
you know
is.
what there needs to be? It needs to be was it Tommy should have lived or
It
It
should have been
should have been
Tommy.
Tommy.
Justice for
Should
We
have
Tommy?
been Tommy.
we actually have shirts that say it should
Yeah,
have been
yeah,
Tommy.
we
Yeah, they
Justice
were
for
do.
talking about
Tommy.
that
A
in the
listener
Green
made it
Arrow
for us.
comic
Yeah.
episodes, I think.
Yeah,
Oh man, I gotta check that out.
we had an awesome listener. Shout out to you. Made us two custom shirts. Oh no, made three. I
That's
believe
right. I
Yeah.
forgot. Yeah.
Jessica, yeah, Jess has one. I think my oldest daughter wears it now.
Excellent.
She wears all the Arrow merch that we've ever made. She has and she wears it on the
Love
regulars.
it.
She
On
likes
this
me and you on her on her shirt, Lance.
That's amazing.
Nice.
on the show the last season we were talking about basically Eddie deserved better or justice for Eddie kind of similar kind of vibes to that
Yeah.
like at the end
Yeah.
like we're almost like deifying him being like Eddie was the best character like how dare you guys like kill
Yeah.
him and everything.
Eddie
I
got shit.
thought of
Hey
I
man.
thought of going to Custom Ink and getting Justice for Eddie shirts.
Yeah, it'd be
So
amazing.
funny.
Yeah. But so like I like this part where she starts flying and then like Barry's like I'm better with metahumans. Let me talk to her. It's like Barry, you put the metahumans in your pipeline prison. Like I like that whole like
Yeah.
self-aware moment. And then like she flies down, kind of talks to him, basically threatens him a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, Arrow calls Felicity over comms, and this is only a cool trivia bit for me. Ask if Mari was in Central City the night of the explosion, which is December 11th, 2013, which is actually my birthday. Almost like I
Oh,
was made to
Oh,
make
nice.
this Flash
very nice.
podcast here.
There you
Yeah.
go.
That's cool.
A day
Nice.
that will live in infamy in Central City is also my
Yeah.
birthday.
Well
But
done.
But saying
nice.
little did we know, our Black Canary was also there.
Uh-huh.
It's a lot more people there. They done the thing yet where I feel like if they haven't, they should, where it's like you edit. Yeah, because I think I've seen that where they edit all of the people that were there the night of the particle accelerator like explosion, like in like chronological order, basically. Like I think I've seen that online
Yeah, there's
somewhere.
definitely a YouTube supercut
There's
out there
definitely
of that.
something
Oh
like
yeah.
that.
I
Yeah.
know there's a supercut of all the times Barry's gone back in time to the night his mother died. There's a supercut of that. It's like 20 minutes on YouTube.
God.
Yeah, maybe Barry has a little problem.
Yeah. So she meets with the doctor again. She shows him her power and he apologized for what happens next. Armed men burst in and kind of like we alluded to earlier, she gets like she tries to escape, but then I think she gets shot in the arm. And then she's in Zimbabwe with her sister. They brought her there to the origin point of the totem. She was born there. We get her backstory and everything. Like it's like the totem was like a generational gift. The warlord attacked and burned down their village trying to get the totem. They go over this a few times, but her mom fled with her, and her sister was the guardian, but was kind of left behind. And then she wants to kill her to finally get the totem. But like later on, as we like she runs, and we kind of find out that like I guess you have to sever the connection too. But she
Yeah.
kind of just takes the necklace off when she's kind of winded later with like no problem because there's a moment
Yeah,
earlier where she's trying to like pull it off and it just won't come off. I guess the only thing she had to do is just basically run a lot and then all of a sudden she just like real easy just pulls it off. So I don't know, guys.
apparently.
Inconsistencies.
Yeah.
Hey, but that's what the CW shows seem to be known for is inconsistencies out the ass.
Yeah.
Amongst other things, yes.
Yeah. Um, oh yeah, so the animal spirits before that, or maybe directly after that, were talking to her, basically telling to her embrace her like her destiny kind of thing. Um, so like they also materialize and show her her foster mom and her sister and like her mom and some other people that I assume are the villagers like behind them. They never really say, but I just assume. And then the animals surrounding her earlier run. Oh yeah, there's some civilians that the sister has taken over. The the like animal spirit things like run them off, and then they get into a surprisingly bloody fight here. For like a CW show, like it's pretty bloody for
Yeah, that kind of threw me.
It's
yeah, like
like,
it was good, but still
Yeah.
man, it's like it was just getting us ready for Invincible.
yeah
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh,
there's
yeah.
time for it.
yeah.
I mean,
I,
if CW does anything across the animation and I mean, I would say Arrow. I don't know how many epic fights Flash gets in
Hmm.
on par with that, but we have constantly been blown away by the like the ability of the action sequences is in the Arrowverse. Probably
yeah,
underrated. So yeah, no, I was happy to see them taking a little bit of a tougher stance. You know, sometimes you need blood to make a point.
Yeah.
definitely.
To your point, Cavante, sorry to cut you off, Alex, but
Oh,
to
you're
your
good.
point, I would not consider any of the fights on The Flash epic. Maybe one or two,
Come on,
but
man. You're my co-host, or
No,
you're supposed to like
I
this
know,
show.
I know, but I gotta
it's tough,
speak the
man.
truth.
No,
Someone's got to.
tough. It's tough. Obviously, people that know Lance and I from our show know that we connected and met through our love of Smallville, and like we're talking about a show that has less epic fights
Ooh,
Yes.
showing
Oh,
up. Smallville. I think they maybe threw like 10 punches the whole the whole show.
they just tackled
Uh-huh.
each other in
Yeah,
that
a lot
show,
of
man.
throwing 20 feet in the air.
Yep.
push people through walls.
That's
Yeah, Arrow
correct.
Arrow was a pioneer in television stunt action that wasn't like Netflix Daredevil and stuff like that. So
Correct.
it's
Yeah.
always
Yeah.
we're always
Dude.
excited
Because
to
this was
highlight
before,
the hero
because
fights.
yeah, because Arrow, remember, Arrow was before Daredevil, right? So this
Yeah,
was Arrow truly was the blueprint.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
definitely. Yeah.
Hey,
Um,
we fight a little different now, don't you?
uh-huh.
She incapacitates her sister and reclaims the necklace. We cut back to the city with a now costumed Vixen. She hasn't really come to that name yet, but there's all the voiceover where she's talking about she knows she has this thing where she says she know where she's came from, so now she knows where she's going.
Hmm.
Um, I like that too. She was
That's a word.
Yeah,
yeah,
that's a
yeah,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. But she's talking to Chuck, who asks if she gave up fashion to become a hero. She's just gonna do the whole thing where it's like fashion designer by day, crime fighter by night. I kind of really wish this to become a series. Like, no offense to, I did like the Batgirl show, but like this sounds like more fun, basically, than that
No,
show ended up being.
Yeah, no,
this would have been killing if they would have put this on. This would have been an instant hit.
Yeah,
yeah.
definitely.
Wait, Batgirl show.
The
What?
Batwoman show.
Batwoman, I
Oh,
misspoke, my bad.
Batwoman. I was like, are you talking about the Birds of Prey show that was on like way before I was even born? But
Oh
no.
man, that
Wait,
true.
time out. Did you
Time out.
time out?
Time out. Time
Time
out.
out. Did you just say before you were born for the Birds
I'm
of Prey show?
I'm almost 21, dude.
No! Oh my god!
I know, I know.
I do this to Alex all the time.
Oh
Yeah.
god!
Man,
I'm
that one
32, man.
yeah, that stung. That one stung a little bit. That's right. Yes.
My bad.
No, our mutual friend Matt Truex is
Yes.
the biggest Birds of Prey fan I know.
Yeah, shout out to Matt.
Yeah, having
Yeah.
someone say
Shout
I've
out to
never
Matt. I like him
that show
too.
before I
Me
was
and him
born.
DM.
I'm sure somewhere he's twitching
Oh,
his he doesn't know what for though.
Yes.
My bad. Didn't mean to make y'all feel old there. Just
Oh, no.
it's like
It's cool.
It's
like
cool.
that
We
Birds
feel
of
old for a
Prey
lot of
show.
other reasons.
Yes.
No, yeah, I think the entire, if I can remember back 100 episodes on the show, I think probably what I was saying the most was this should be a series on the CW.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Probably would have done, Batwoman retrospectively, you can look at and be like, it was a failed start from the jump, but
Mhm.
a lot of things happened that, were out of the show's control and a lot of the
Yes.
back control. But if you were looking for another female superhero that didn't have the baggage of having to be a part of the Bat family, which is why I think Batwoman was kind of doomed to fail in the beginning because people were just like, we just want Batman.
Mhm.
Yeah.
If you did Vixen, it's a different setting. It's Detroit. You don't got to make it another city. She can cross over with the characters. And like eventually they do use her in the Arrowverse, so it's not like she was wasted, but this would have probably been a bigger impact. And I think this could have been a launching point. Like I think a CW successful show with Vixen, now Vixen's probably going to be a part of like the DCU.
Yeah.
Where like, she would be more of a well-known established character, and we need more of those characters like Vixen.
Exactly.
So hopefully we'll
Uh-huh.
see. We'll see when we get there.
Yeah. We also get a moment where she expresses regret about like basically not saying things she should. Like she tells her dad that she loves him. I really liked that moment too. And calls Detroit her village. And then like we get to see Arrow and Flash again. And they have like some more banter where like they're basically like just talking back and forth and like he floats the idea of the Vixen name to her.
My note here also, because I think Barry mentions something. It was either this scene or the previous scene with Flash and Arrow about Star Labs, and my notes just say, "Jesus, Barry, can you keep anything a secret?" Because
No.
he's talking about Star Labs and he references Cisco. It's
Yeah.
like, dude, secret identity. You are not Iron Man.
My favorite version of that, by the way, is like, and it's been made into like I've seen it in a bunch of like reels and stuff like that, is when he first goes into the bunker and he just like,
Oh, that's classic though. That
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
so funny.
yeah, that was an amazing moment where he's like, they're married, and he's like, it's like I didn't tell her.
No, keep
But
secrets
yeah.
for a living, man. Yeah, no. That Flash versus Arrow crossover is iconic. It's one of the best things they've ever
Yes.
done in the Arrowverse.
Definitely.
All of those things hit so good.
There's also like an awkward crack in this about like she mentions her brown leotard and like one of them makes fun of it and she's like, "What's wrong with brown?" And then Arrow just like deadpan just like looks over at the Flash and just starts talking like after that basically like there's like an awkward moment there. I noticed.
I remember I was like, what was the point of this joke?
Yeah, it was
She
just
she
kind of
was checking
uncomfortable.
Ollie. That's all. She was just giving
Uh-huh.
Ollie a check.
Yeah.
What is wrong with Brown? And of course, because Oliver is Oliver.
Yeah.
Which is funny because Oliver, in character, should have been like, "There's absolutely nothing wrong with it."
Yes.
Yeah.
And he decided to because he's around Barry, so he's resorted back to grumpy Batman.
Mhm.
He's just
Yeah.
Batman now.
He's Batman with a bow.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
Batman with a bow right now. He has
He's
he has
like, what is this humor you speak of, like basically?
Their
yeah.
dynamic is literally just Batman and Robin in this crossover. Like, Ollie's Batman, this dark and brooding sort of vigilante who's, as Cavante's been saying, angry all this time. And
Hmm.
Barry is just kind of Robin, like, comedic relief, like, oh, gee whiz, Batman.
This is before
Yeah.
he lost hope in the later seasons where he got like
True.
Yeah.
so serious and you could see the weight of the show on Grant Gustin's face where like
Yeah.
he looks so tired all the time and I just feel so
Yeah.
bad for him.
That comes in like season 4
Yeah,
or
it's rough
I
to
3
don't
see.
actually.
I often think about like the Flash's characterization early seasons and like, you know what, if I was him and I
Mhm.
was able to move as fast as I was and basically 99% of the threats I have no issue with, I'd probably be making jokes about it a lot too. It's just
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
would probably not take a
Yeah.
lot of serious too if I knew within an instant I could have it solved.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest issues that we keep having on Arrow is because they established that they're these close friends and they can help each other out like this. And
Mhm.
we're just
Yes.
like, man, Oliver, you're over here struggling with Ricardo Diaz. Well, you
Yeah.
can have the Barry to run over there and take care of it real quick. And like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so, there
The
hasn't been a point
dragon.
like that, but yeah, but
That's
I
a
think I would
thing
be,
you run into with things that are in like a shared universe is, oh, you've got this character over here, but we want it to be a self-contained story. We're not going to have, like if it's a Batman story and he's dealing with someone, we're not going to have Superman or the Flash come in and solve his problems for him. He's got to figure out how to do it himself, even though Superman could probably trounce the guy.
Yeah. Well,
Definitely.
the funny thing is this happens on things that cross over that aren't even superhero shows. They run into this issue. Like
Mhm.
as Kev knows and people that listen to our show know, like I'm a huge fan of the Chicago universe,
one
the
Chicago,
one
baby.
Chicago, and so there are times when watching like Chicago Fire or Chicago Med, I'm like, y'all need to call intelligence at Chicago PD and they can help you with this. Or if I'm watching PD, I'm like, y'all need to go to the hospital. Where are you messing around in these back alleys with this gunshot wound? Why don't you just go to med? Or like if there's like they're dealing with an arsonist, it's like, why don't you call 51 and fire? Like but they just don't do it because that show has to handle it
Yeah.
themselves. And
Mhm.
Yeah.
so until it's time for a crossover, which
Yeah.
Yeah.
as of this recording is happening this week. I can't wait.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
That
nice.
that
No,
could also be like a budget thing where it's like, you
Oh,
don't always have
100%.
the budget to have all of these people come together, especially on shows like I've never watched them, but I've been upstairs while my mom's watching them. But shows as big as like the Chicago thing, it's like that's a lot of shit you have to deal with.
yeah.
And there's no way that there's a budget to do that for more than like 1 or 2 episodes a year.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I mean, every time I bring it up on Arrow, I'm always like, yeah, I understand why they don't. Like I get it. The only fix they need to do. Okay, Oliver's dealing with Malcolm Merlin. I get it. It's
Mhm.
personal. Barry dealing with Zoom. I get it. It's personal. Uh, Local street gang who's just being a thorn in your side. At least give us a message like Felicity's like, hey, you want me to call Barry? And he's like, oh, Barry's busy. He's dealing with something.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
problem solved.
Well,
Like,
then also like to you also run the risk of if you're constantly having someone come up and clean up or help with some of their message, you make the main character look less competent, possibly
Yeah.
too. Like they can't handle their own shit, basically. So it might be partially that, maybe too.
I mean, the CW does have a bit of a problem with their superheroes needing an entire team of people to help them get the job done.
Maybe that's why
Yeah.
we don't have Batman in this universe. He just outclass
Yeah,
everyone.
he wouldn't need a team. You don't have a show because you don't have
Same
a
Yeah.
thing. Well, same
sidekick
thing with
Batman.
Superman, which is
Yeah.
Yeah,
why like
like
Superman and Lois work so well. Is like
yeah,
he didn't need the Justice League. Like
we don't
Yeah.
need the
And
Arrowverse.
that
Like
show is also not technically Arrowverse canon, even though Diggle and Lila show up.
we don't want to talk about Diggle. We
nope.
don't.
Oh.
No, oh wait, yeah, sorry, forgot.
Me and my dad have problems. You know what I'm
Oh yeah. He stiffed you guys, I forgot.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. Oh man. But yeah, so they like there's another like mugging scene. She is trying the name Vixen out and she has kind of like a some of the humor with her hits and then other ones feels like I don't know if it was the actress that necessarily didn't believe in the humor parts or what, but like some of it just feels like it's like obligatory almost where like some of the jokes, like I don't know, like some moments I'm just like you're in a serious moment, like come on, like focus or something, like I don't know. But
Yeah, it
she
felt like they watched like a Spider-Man movie or something, like Homecoming, and they were like, "We need a joke here. Figure something out."
definitely. So I also lost my place. Give me a minute here, guys. Oh, here we go. So they have like a moment where she's having trouble with like controlling the animal spirits, and so she goes and meets with one of her dad's like on and off again like dates, I guess, and she's kind of weirded out by that. But she goes over and like basically like goes under the guise of like I just need a job over here. And there's like a weird scene where I guess it makes sense that like you want to make sure you get along with the animals, but like she literally just has the like her stand in front of this gorilla like Caesar and it's like, okay, you got the job, cool. And it's like
Planet
it's
of the Apes reference as well.
yeah, I
Yep.
liked that. That was good.
Also, this in this references a hawk. That voice actress is the same one as Hawk Girl on Justice League and Justice League Unlimited, Maria Canals Barrera.
Ah,
I
Nice.
love her.
noticed it like I'm good with like voice actors and stuff. I noticed it immediately. I was like, "Oh,
Nice.
cool."
Very cool. Love her.
Yeah, me too. Um Yeah, so yeah, she makes friends with the ape after scaring him earlier with that whole thing. Men are ransacking the doctor's office. Vargas has some arrangement with these bad guys. We come to find out that they want the endangered species to put them on the black market. And she can't really say anything because she had to kind of make certain deals to make sure they got over there, and there's like some shadiness to it, and that's why she
Is
doesn't
that the
go to the
part
police.
is that the part with the bald guy with the glasses that's not Hugo
That
Strange,
that's
but
that's
is drawn
later.
exactly oh.
That's later, actually. We'll get into that in a
Oh,
minute.
whoops. Spoilers. I mean,
Yep,
it's a rewatch thing, so
Yeah, that's
true.
true.
And this also came out like when did this come out? Not 2019?
Yeah,
2017.
2017?
Yeah.
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 yeah, you guys had time.
Yeah.
But so so like they go like they set up a fake meeting. They trap the smugglers and the Caesar helps out, which is pretty cool. And then also after this, like so they fix all that. Vargas and the dad are dating now to Maris's chagrin, and she updates her costume probably to line up closer to what's in the CW show. I have to guess probably like it's I kind of like the other one a little bit better than than this one, to be honest with you guys. That this one looks okay by comparison.
Yeah, looks like unfortunately the first iteration was like an artist drawing, and the second one they're like we have to match it to an actual costume we have.
Yeah.
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 It's the same problem I think that we're seeing in the, and I don't want to deviate too much because Lance will lose his mind off the James Gunn DCU. But right now, how they're the Creature Commandos are starting to show like glimpses of other characters, and they're like they can't show too much because they might have to make a costume and it won't look like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
So
Yeah.
like certain characters are like just silhouettes, which could change, could be the same. We don't know yet.
well,
Yeah.
You
Well,
know?
even then, they said they're not like married to what's shown on screen in terms of those silhouettes, like Batman
Yeah.
or any of
it's
those
too
characters.
early. Yeah.
That it was probably too early to show them.
Yeah.
Well,
I
yeah.
mean, yeah, but
That's
we
my
gotta have references, guys. We gotta know these characters exist, or Twitter will go insane.
Yeah.
yeah.
So we cut to like 1 year later and I think I mentioned this before, but you can definitely tell like it kind of like watching this kind of reminds me of when like you used to watch like TV movies and stuff like that where they would have these obvious fade to blacks where like commercial breaks would go. And like
Yeah.
there's like a lot of these here. I'm like, okay, this is where this episode naturally probably originally ended. And it kind of creates like somewhat like odd pacing here and there for me. That's definitely going to go more into my review at the
Mm.
end.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, so 1 year later, Vixen foils a bank robbery and she sees McAllister on the news. He's lecturing at a hall of about the totems of Zambezi and how each one corresponds to all the elements. He has he has one of the lost totems of the five ones. She confronts him after the lecture. He gives a weak apology before telling her
Very
she's
weak.
yeah, seriously. He's just like, I did it for the money. I hope you understand. Like, I was like, come on, man. Um, and then like Cisco does the whole 911 emergency thing. We get treated to a scene of them like in Monument Park stopping these twisters that are happening in the ocean, and we get Flash calling back to the pilot from forever ago at this point, talking about like how that was one of the first tricks he learned. We see my favorite version of Firestorm, which is Jax, because
Yeah, the
like
Jacks. Yeah.
yeah, I like the first one, but I like Jax more. Jax is great.
Jack was great.
Yeah.
I don't know. I appreciate Ronnie like probably just as much as I do Jax. Like the Ronnie and Professor
You were a
Stein.
fan of the Amel Wednesdays, I see.
Uh-huh.
I mean, maybe, but like it's yes, the Amel one isn't as funny as Jax and Stein, but I feel like Ronnie still brought a good dynamic to Firestorm.
Definitely.
And
Mhm.
also my note here when he's talking about how, oh, the tornado, unwinding a tornado was the first thing I ever did. I just said, yes, Barry, we know.
But yeah, like Firestorm is dispatched, and then basically like at some point, Vixen gets knocked out. We cut to the hospital later, where like he basically like the dad is trying to get her to basically just calm down for a little bit. And she like yeah, so like she says thanks to her new friends, like she was able to save the city. She rebuffs the friends part, which is kind of weird. Like it seems like she's getting along well enough with them. There's still that force kind of like, "Rrr, I don't like them still." And I'm like, come on, like you guys have teamed up more
Yeah.
than like just come on. You guys have teamed
That
up more than
warrants
once at
at
this
least
point.
some level of appreciation or
And
friendship. I
trust.
mean,
She's
Yeah,
acting
yeah.
like Oliver at this point where it's like I don't work with others and stuff, even though he has like a whole team.
yeah,
Yeah.
Oliver with plenty of people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. It's like, all right, Batman Jr., like chill out. But yeah, so Vixen chases down the oh yeah, there's a suspect. There's like a robbery that happens. The gem is stolen from the museum. She chases down this guy who apparently knows everything that goes on in the city. We cut to a conversation in a building where a mysterious stranger and Mr. Jones, who looks suspiciously like Hugo Strange, is
Yeah.
like talking to them. Like I was like,
Yeah. I noticed that immediately because like I was telling Alex, I don't know if you, Cavante and Lance were here for this, I can't remember, but I've been rewatching Young Justice recently. The design they use for this guy is just exactly the same as Hugo Strange from the Prison Break episode in season one. Like it's
Hmm.
identical.
yeah.
Hilarious.
It was so weird seeing like a different voice come out of that guy. And also,
Yeah.
he is not long for this world because he's like, "Oh, you'll get paid," and then like he sets him on fire as he
Yep.
like falls out of the building.
Yeah, I
Um,
got super excited though because I did think that was Hugo Strange. I was like, wait, our first Batman character? Oh, no,
Yeah.
never mind.
Nope.
yeah.
We're done.
After that, they meet like she basically meets up with her bedridden sister at a hospital in Zimbabwe. She asks her sister about the Zimbabwe ambassador she fought earlier. He led the raid that killed her father and the villagers. His name is is it Ishu or how'd you pronounce that? Like Ishu?
I thought
Is
it was
I
the
can't
Ishu.
remember.
Yeah,
Ishu?
yeah. What ESHU issue? Yeah.
Yeah, Ishu. Okay. And he was after the mom's amulet. Luckily she escaped with her, because she could have died there, obviously.
Did any of you think that this character was their dad? Because I did at first. I thought that was going to be the big twist was that he's their dad.
A little bit, yeah, actually. Like just because like her sister was already a villain, like maybe like also the dad might potentially be a villain. Like,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't know.
If this was a live action, like if it's a CW series, yeah, he's definitely the dad is definitely gonna
Hmm.
be the
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was on the right track with CW thinking, but it's a different realm of the CW, so that wasn't quite the case.
Yeah. So the so to she gets her help. She agrees to join them. Cut back to the city. We go to look for it at a house in Star City. She's on comms with Felicity, who scans the house, which is empty. They get inside, but the sister is weak and falls, but Vixen catches her. I like this bonding moment, but never mind. Her sister grabs the totem and they fight, kind of predictably, actually, in
Yeah,
hindsight.
I it kind of saw that coming. I was like, this seems out of character. How long until her sister deceives her?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like her sister escapes, and then like there's a scene earlier with some guard dogs that she scares with the totem, and she actually uses them to go after the police that are like showing up on the scene. Adam grabs the sister. Canary is there too, specifically the Dinah version of Canary, and like they subdue her. Arrow is running for mayor right now, kind of tying into your guys' most recent episode, actually, with the whole Oliver Queen is the
As the
mayor.
mayor in the
Yeah,
comics, yeah.
yeah.
Wait,
Uh,
that's happening in the comics right now? Ollie's mayor?
No, it happened it happened in like 2006.
Yeah.
Oh,
some of it is still disturbed, like some of the political stuff is still really relevant now,
Yes.
unfortunately.
Unfortunately.
It's
Yeah.
evergreen.
Yeah, it really shouldn't be. So, she convinced her sister to help her get revenge on Ishu, who is currently attacking the city. He makes a live broadcast saying, people will die unless you reveal the identity of the Dark Knight. Oh, wait, sorry, that's a different thing here.
I was wondering where you were going with that. I was like,
I was
wait,
like,
that
okay, yeah,
sounds
yeah.
familiar.
Yeah, he says basically like just give me the totem and he'll stop. But her dad shows up and like randomly like shows up like right in the middle of the attack. And she tells him to get out of there. The team fights Ishu. Her sister helps her in the fight. Her sister dies fighting against him, basically getting disintegrated by the fire, which was pretty like pretty brutal for this show. Like this show doesn't pull as many punches, I feel like. Also, it's like animation versus live action. I feel like it can get away with slightly more with animation.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
little bit.
I was gonna say just for current times, Creature Commandos.
Mm.
The way oh Lord, I'm gonna mess with his name. The
Dr.
character,
Phosphorus?
yes, the way he murders people, that couldn't be done in live action.
No.
So that's one positive to have an animation. You're able to expressively show things without being too gruesome and gory, because after all, it's just animation. So I'm glad that and that's one of the reasons why, like, I think I miss superheroes being in animation as prevalently as they are live action today,
Hmm.
because you can just do more and get away with more and make the impacts feel harder. And you don't have the budget limitations of like what CGI can make. What is more so what an animator and an artist can envision. So
Definitely.
yeah, it's definitely perks to that. But yeah, definitely brutal fights. But it makes Vixen all the more formidable for me, because she comes from like a brutal kind of
Yeah.
it's not very soft. I
Yeah.
don't
No.
think no side to Flash, but like because Flash was in CW, I don't think any of Flash's villains ever you thought, man, this is brutal, until like
Hmm.
the big bads, and
Yeah.
dragging Barry through
I
town.
mean, Zoom
Yeah, I
Zoom
was gonna
kind
say
of does
like
some damage.
dragging them through town and stuff like that. That's
Yeah.
brutal. But
Yeah. And
yeah,
he
Yeah, that
also
Zoom fight,
breaks
man.
his back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He pulls a nightfall on him, yeah.
Hmm.
But
Banes him.
yeah, definitely. So Ishu comes after Vixen next. Like McAllister runs book in hand, and we cut to Ishu saying defeating him is hopeless. And then she has a moment here which says, I don't need hope, I don't need faith, I don't need magic, I just need to beat you. I really liked that line. I thought that was a really good line of dialogue. She beats him, reclaiming the totem and leaving him in the ocean as McAllister shows up to help her out of the water and get the totem. She gets pulled back by Ishu, but the totem stops him. Um, like with the whole alligator tail thing, which I found kind of funny too. Uh, but like McAllister tells her to smash it, to sever the bond to it. She uses the full power she possesses to crush it. We cut to a benefit ball at the museum. I like that Canary and Adam toast to her in their civilian outfits. It took me a
It's
minute
like,
to
wait, we got
recognize
you.
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a minute because they are like animated in this, so I was like, oh,
Yeah.
that's who that's supposed to be because
Yeah.
they're close enough, but like kind of up until this point, we've only seen them in their costumes, so it kind of took me a minute to be like, oh, that's who that's supposed to be.
Yeah, and I like that they put Ray in this too, because he was one of my favorite characters on Arrow, and I just like Brandon Routh as an actor in
We
general.
all love Brandon
Yeah,
Routh.
Yeah, I got a figure
Even as
back
Superman.
here of the Atom, with like the it has a detachable head where you could put on the either the cowl that he wears or just have him without it.
Oh,
Basically, has
cool.
yeah, it's
Oh,
Brandon Routh's face on it. And then I have like this. I have the for season two. We're gonna actually show that Flash figure because he has the white emblem. It's specifically the one from the second season that I got a little statue of. So yeah,
Okay, cool.
like definitely. So yeah. Anyway, the whole thing with like them at the thing, like the dad compliments her dress and everything. She designed it. And then we find out the guy's name is Adam. I guess he's her date. He's also helping her with like the superhero stuff. Cisco sends an emergency text to meet at Coast City, where Arrow, Flash, and Adam and Canary are waiting on a rooftop. They go to help the city that's under attack. That's the end of the episode, but we have a post-credit scene of Vixen stopping some criminals sometime later with longer hair to more closely resemble the actress, I guess. She says to tell Albert Serico these streets aren't his anymore. Arrow interrupts the scene. She said she was handling it. He needs her help. Um, do you guys remember who Albert Serico was? Is that like a setup for anything, or is that just like some random, like just in battle dialogue or something?
That's an in-battle dialogue.
Gotcha. I was just like,
yeah.
who the hell is that?
could be
That,
comics, maybe?
what is it?
Maybe.
That was them setting the precedent for their pilot episode. They were
Yeah.
making
Oh, man.
yeah, because like the only thing I do remember about this was everyone saying like, oh, depending on how well this web series did, this could spin off into a live action show. And then they brought her on shortly after in season four.
I
Mary Lance,
remember that. Yeah.
she
Yeah.
had a live action experience in season four. She has a, I think she helps Oliver save William.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
against Dark, one of the better
yeah,
episodes
yeah,
of
yeah,
season four.
yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's like one of the good like one of the good episodes had Vixen in it. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, so they were probably it that felt very what was it? Green Arrow and the Black Canaries
Uh,
type
Green
vibe.
Arrow and the Canaries.
Yeah, Green Arrow and Canaries,
Yeah.
setting up a storyline that you can kind of investigate as a future, but just never panned out.
Yeah. That was, I remember, yeah, like I have thoughts about that, but this isn't an Arrow rewatch podcast. Maybe one day though, we'll see. But yeah, like I'll be interested to see when you guys get into that. I definitely have my thoughts on those future flashes. I'm like, you guys could have spent
we
more
just
time with the present.
we just started them,
Yeah,
so
we just started the flash forwards,
Oh yeah, it's
yeah.
weird.
so we are there now.
But yeah, so I guess my overall thoughts is this is a cool like movie, but you can definitely tell, like I said before, it's a bunch of episodes stitched together. But the action and the overall presentation were great. I liked it. It's definitely like you can tell it's trying to be like a backdoor pilot for like a future project though too.
Yeah.
What do you guys think overall? Whoever wants to go first.
Well, for us, like I know, I had to go back and look. We gave this a bullseye,
Yeah.
and this is not just a bullseye because it happened in season four. This is one of the few bright spots that we got to experience during the coverage of season four. This is legitimately good. This was very
Yeah.
enjoyable, and I wish they would have kind of. Went harder in the paint for some of these things that they did in this, as far as giving her own show or doing more team ups, like with this pseudo Justice League that they
Mhm.
kind of end up forming. And according to these animated things, is a thing that they did all the time.
Yeah.
So I wish they would have leaned into that more, and they could have had and established themselves as their own version of the Justice League, like where and kind of kept the Arrowverse more distinct in that regard. But this was cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
I was gonna add, I always appreciate like like we have said a couple times, this was a web series that was like what 5 to 7 minute long episodes that you would just
Hmm.
feel like this could have been such a throwaway. No one really cares because they don't expect anybody to watch it. But
Hmm.
they got all the people to come back and reprise their roles. They had some, like you said, unexpected brutal action.
Hmm.
felt like it belonged in the CW, even with, and not just because they brought characters from the shows in it. Like everything kind of felt like it was a part of the same universe. And yeah, no, I just give them props for doing something better than they needed to do.
Yeah.
I think Lance coined a term like what it has. It's better than it has any business being.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's just and it's what a little over an hour watch.
Yeah.
And if you got
Like an
$4,
hour
then you
30.
like, I mean, it's definitely worth a quick flight. If you're trying to
Mhm.
pass
Yeah.
time or something.
Yeah.
If it's ever free, if WB ever does something right and puts it on
Yeah.
Mac, something like that, then it's definitely a must watch. But for $4, if you got it, because
Yeah.
apparently caught up since we did it.
Yeah. Yeah. It's I saw
Yeah.
that and like I was
The
like,
money's
damn
coming in
it.
now. I think Lance and I raised the price probably. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
he
Yeah. Yeah. So it's
okay.
your guys' fault is what I'm hearing. But yeah, whoever wants to go, Brady, go ahead.
So I don't know really much about Vixen outside of Justice League or Justice League Unlimited or things like that. So it was kind of like it was cool to, learn more about a new character.
Hmm.
And I think it's good up until the 1 year later thing happens. Then I just kind of got a little bored and started falling off. It's still, I'm probably gonna give it like a three, or yeah,
Okay.
like a three lightning bolts, like right in the
Gotcha.
middle. I didn't hate the end. When the Atom showed up, I was like, oh, this is interesting, but he's there for like 2 minutes.
Yeah. So I guess like I can do my heart humored spectacle too, and then you guys can do yours. So for me, the heart would probably be all the stuff with like the dad and her. And then the spectacle, obviously all the brilliant fight scenes, those were really great. And then the humor would be yeah, I know, I failed this city. I really liked that line, and I would give it about 3 out of 5 too. I think this was like a really solid thing. And not to dunk on Smallville, but like it's better than the
Because that's
animated.
my job.
Be careful now.
Yeah. Hey, hey, look. I got I got my credentials, okay? Like I got
There you go.
He
Yeah.
gives me shit all the time for saying I wasn't all that into Smallville.
It was before your time,
It
but
literally
It
was before your
was
It's before
time.
your
way before.
but
Hey,
yeah.
this time it was you
Amazing.
that did it, not me, Alex.
It's better than the CG Arrow, Green Arrow stuff that they did in some of the later seasons. So like at least there was some prestige to it. But yeah, Brady's make dude, don't look it up. Do not look it up. It's bad. But yeah.
You're making me want to look it up now. You saying don't is making me want to look this up.
We're talking about Green Arrow and Smallville.
Yeah,
Slow arrow.
A slow arrow, yeah,
the
slow arrow.
CG, remember the CG like his island adventures and everything with the
Yeah.
looked like even pre-reboot level CGI in that.
Reboot. He invoked a reboot. No,
Man.
yeah,
Ooh.
no, yeah, definitely a
Reboot.
product of its time. But
Woo!
no, yeah, I was gonna say for the I guess Lance, we don't want to give it 5 lightning bolts because that means that it's absolutely pristine and it's the best animation DC
Yeah.
product we've seen, and we both, and I'm sure the four of us can agree there's better DC projects out there.
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
I do like it. I do give them credit for introducing a character because like you, I didn't know much about Vixen, other than what I had seen in the Arrowverse. They introduced his character. She's interesting, cool. The humor is there. The CW quips are there. The heart is there. The relationship with the dad and the attempted relationship with this, if this was a CW show, that sister relationship would have been, that would have been a part of it.
Yeah.
Spectacle. Yeah, we got to see some excellent action, and we got to see our caped heroes from the Arrowverse make cameos in there. So I guess I'll go 4 out of that, man. Four.
Yeah. I think 4 is where I'm landing.
Yeah.
Nice. So, this is a part where we usually do our plugs. So, why don't you guys go first since you guys are our guests and tell them where they can find you and check out I know your various podcasts so for Cabante.
Yeah, man. Uh,
Also Lance too, but yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I guess as I have, I'll plug the other show, Lance, and you can plug ours.
Okay.
Unfortunately, you can no longer find me on social media for the time being. Sorry about that. But you can find me through the podcast. I do have access to those, and we do another show. If you like all the things that make Star Wars Star Wars, I don't know if that's a way to say it, but if you like a bunch of sweaty nerds talking about Star Wars, you can come listen to us over there at Always Home to Star Wars. We're smack dab in the middle of the Clone Wars right now. And so I think we're on about
Nice.
I think we're season 3 of the Clone Wars. So we're smack dab in that. We typically go through all Disney canon because Disney is canon now. We go through all that, and then every occasionally we have a one-off episode where we just goof off and talk about things that make us love Star Wars and have guests over. We're gonna have Lance come over and talk about the music of Star Wars eventually.
Nice.
That's so listen to that if you want to. And Lance, you can plug the other one.
Yeah, so if you enjoy listening to us talk about things in the Arrowverse, you can listen to us talk about all the things that make Arrow Arrow on Always Hold On to Arrow, and you can find us on Twitter at Do Not Fail Our Pod. So yeah, we just started our season 7 coverage.
Hmm.
So hop on over there and check us out. We got seasons 1 through 6
Yeah,
available for you
we
in
got
the backlog.
170 episodes you can catch up on if you
Yeah,
need something. If you're sitting in traffic, if you're at work, we got you.
yeah, we have an interesting flavor for our show. We talk about other things outside of Arrow as well that are not related, that
Oh yeah,
are
that's a
somewhat
surprise though.
tangentially related. So
That's a surprise,
I think you'll enjoy it.
and you'll
Nice.
never guess what it is.
You'll never guess.
You'll never guess.
If this is the first time you're listening to us, you'll never guess what the
You will never guess what we also have a passion for and cover.
We know,
Yes.
but the audience might not.
Give them incentive to go on there. Brady, you want to go next, and then I'll do the
Uh,
plugs, and we'll get out of here.
yeah, sure. So you can listen to me also talking about nerd shit on my podcast, Tismo Talks, a comic book podcast, only on Spotify and YouTube. I've done 2 episodes so far talking about the Spectacular Spider-Man animated series, and I'm working on the third episode right now. And if you want to, watch me play some video games, I have a gaming channel called Alanite, Alanight. I play tons of superhero games, comic book related games, or just whatever the hell I feel like playing. I'm not going to plug my social medias for those accounts because I don't use them.
Fair enough. So obviously, I'm Alex. I have this podcast, Flashbacks, a Flash Rewatch podcast, where we review every episode of the CW Flash show while also we've covered bits of the 90s show. And also we are planning to cover some of like the new 52 in the future to cover some of the Patty stuff before we like get into like her appearances. That'll be somewhere in season 2. But
Houston's
so
own Patty.
she's who Barry should have ended up with. I stand by that. But
Oh, hey.
Ah, Caitlin. Sorry, had something in my throat there.
you and my wife with that, man. You and my wife.
Yeah,
But
I was listening to an episode. Amanda said that. I was like, finally, somebody agrees with me.
But yeah, and then I also, speaking of my wife, I also have Night of the Batman. It's a rebooted Batman show where we talk everything and review everything Batman related. And that should be coming back soon. We're actually covering one of the most self-indulgent things I think I've ever done. For the 50th episode, when I was younger, I did a Batman prequel fan series where I played Harvey Dent and my friend played Bruce Wayne. Kind of think Smallville kind of vibes to it, except on a micro budget. So yeah, we'll be
Nice.
covering that in the future. And my wife has already warned me that she is not going to be kind. So look forward to the
Awesome.
roast
Oh
fest
man.
that's going to be. Um,
Definitely listen to that one.
yeah, and then after that, I have the Tangential Exchange. That is my most laid back podcast. Me and my best friend basically just get drunk and try to make each other laugh the whole time. And every time we go on a tangent, we drink. So you can kind of imagine how that show goes.
I
So
love
yeah,
that podcast,
That
by
is an
the
amazing concept,
way. I
Lance.
will
We need to do
let you
this.
I'd listen to
know
it. But yeah,
right now,
and then lastly,
Alex.
what's up? Oh, it broke up a little bit. What'd you say, Brady?
Oh,
Okay, anyway, so like What Mean is my last one. We do movie reviews, TV, basically anything that comes to mind. And then all that being said, I'm gonna wait to see if Brady comes back so that we can
I
Brady,
should be back.
cool. So just in time. So we have a thing we say at the very end of every episode. We say we will see you in the Speed Force. So we will try to say this as in sync as we possibly can. So I'll give you guys a little countdown.
Never
All
works
right,
out.
All right. It's fine. So through the magic of Zoom, we'll try Zoom. That wasn't a pun, but anyway. So let's do it. Three, two, one. We will see
See
We
you
will
you
in the
see
in the
Speed
you
Speed
in the
Force.
Force.
Speed
Speed Force.
Force.
Nice. Thanks again for coming on, guys.
Hey, thanks for having
Oh
us.
Thanks for
gosh.
having us, man.
Yeah. All right.